Joining us now to discuss is Julius de Kempenaer. He's the Senior Technical Analyst at StockCharts.com. Julius, good afternoon. So is it going to be a Rektober or Rocktober this month?
Depends a little bit on where you're coming from. I think if I look at the shorter term picture, I think it's going to be a Rocktober. I do think that Bitcoin has upward potential in the next few weeks. But all of that is within a pretty weak, longer term outlook as far as I'm concerned.
All right. We have a chart of the past 3 years, since about 4 years, since 2019. What patterns are you seeing in terms of, where Bitcoin is headed?
Yeah, obviously we have that big party that took Bitcoin all the way up to 65K. Twice actually in 2021, 65 and 69K. And until then, everybody was still stoked and Bitcoin was going to like 300,000 and whatever number was thrown out there. I think that whole story changed, especially mid-2022 when we broke below 30,000. Let's round it off at 30,000. So with Bitcoin, you don't have to be very precise. I mean, you can use thousands, that's very easy. So when we broke that 30K level, that was the same where the dip was in the middle of 2021. And in technical analysis, we call that a double top. So Bitcoin, a couple of months ago, completed a double top formation with the 2 peaks at 65 and then the bottom at 30. That means that a long-term uptrend had come to an end. And from a longer-term perspective, that 30K level is now a very important resistance level. It will be very hard for Bitcoin to break beyond that 30K level.
Oh, interesting.
Obviously, that's the long-term story, and things are developing underneath that level right now, because as you said, we are resting, or we've been fluctuating around 20K, and I think you're right, that's a psychological level. But I'm watching more the 18K level, because that's where we had a few dips and we never really broke below 18K. And that's the short-term support level, out of which I can see a rally emerging in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we have that in a second chart on taking a look at Bitcoin over the past 6 months. So that's interesting. So you see definitely a resistance level at 30K for Bitcoin. Is the longer term support level to the end of the year going to be 18K?
That's very well possible. I mean, the year is not much longer left. And what you see now on that chart that we have on the screen is that 18K has been tested 4, 5, 6 times already. And very recently, over the last couple of weeks, you see it start gradually moving higher. And the 2 indicators that are plotted below is a RSI and a MACD, and they're showing what we call positive divergence. They are the lows in those charts are higher, while the previous lows in the Bitcoin price chart are actually lower. So that's sending us a positive signal. Now, where can we possibly go? I think if you look at the chart, you can see that there is a range between 25 on the upside, 25K on the upside, and 18K on the downside, with a previous high around 22.8. That's a minor resistance level. So within that range, we can actually jump towards that 25K level. For short term, that's a really nice trading opportunity. But then you will get into trouble.
And we have the relative rotation graph for a look at Bitcoin's performance relative to other cryptocurrencies like XRP and Matic. Matic looks good. Any correlations you see there?
Yeah, so in this chart, Bitcoin is actually the center of the chart. So what it shows you is the rotation of a number of different cryptocurrencies versus Bitcoin. And what you can see there, everything on the right is really strong and on the left is weak. Now, Ripple on the right is showing that very long tail, but it's at a very high relative strength ratio reading. And if you look at the chart, you will see that Ripple is actually bottoming out. And I think that Ripple is in good shape versus Bitcoin and could turn around and move back to that leading quadrant. The other one that's really looking good is Matic, it's Polygon. That's inside the improving quadrant, but it's now moving towards leading, and that's a good thing. Ripple and Matic, I'm actually watching to outperform Bitcoin in the next couple of weeks, which means that Bitcoin is set to rally, but Ripple and Matic seem to be able to rally even stronger than Bitcoin.